Hey guys, it's Greg. This video can be a treat for our players who like battles in space, or in general like games with space theme, as I want to show you Homeworld by Modifuse. This is a prototype, so keep this in mind. This is a skirmish game where two sides are going to battle each other on the set map. And what is very cool in this game, I mean, at least in this prototype, that they introduced, I think, 10 scenarios. Each scenario introduces new mechanics, so you are slowly learning each of the mechanics, playing them, the scenarios from the rulebook, and at the end, after playing at least 6 of those, because I think 6 is in the 6 scenarios, they are introducing new mechanics, you are ready to make your own map using all those planets and debris that is flying in space to set up your battlefield and fight each other for the win. So Homeworld rules, I mean general rules. So if you are interested, just check out this video. So in this video I want to show you some general concepts and mechanics of the Homeworld Fleet Command. As I said previously, this is a prototype and this is a game for 1 to 4 players, but I think sweet spot is basically 2, because if you're playing with more than 2 players, you need to there's only 2 factions, so 2 players need to command 1 faction at the same time. Right, so what do you can expect from Homeworld Fleet Command? This is like a skirmish game, and basically 2 sides are going to fight each other and fight for completing the objectives. And what we have here, we have of course the miniatures, we have the board. In here we have turn order, round track, so the game can last maximum of 9 rounds. And on the map we have some tokens with different obstacles or maybe objectives. We have some kind of debris in here, but there are also planets, mines, and so on and so on. All those tokens are influencing your movement, your tactics. So for example, when you are on orbit of a planet, there is a gravity well, I think, gravity well, and that forces you to pay more points to move from this location. But what is very cool, what they introduced in the game is that in the rulebook we have some basic concepts at the beginning. It's only few pages, so the game is rather easy, I would say, I think. So on these few first pages we have general concepts of how this game works. We have instruction of the how you are going to play command cards and what kind of actions you can perform. And then they introduced 10 scenarios. We have scenarios, and in here we have 10 scenarios, each of them introducing more advanced rules and elements of the game. So the first scenario is very basic. You are going to fight, as you can see, with only those simplest units, and using only one of the elements of the game, which is this asteroid field. And here we have information how this asteroid field influences the game. And after this first scenario, you can go to the second one. The second one introduces new rules as armor, defensive fire, focus fire. We have some setups in here and explanation of these rules. And another scenario, this time they're introducing missiles, rainforest, planets, cryo trace, and so on till the 6th, I think. 6th one is the first scenario with without new rules, and till the 10th scenario in here, where you know basically everything and you can play full game. But that's not all. There is also a way, I mean, you don't have to play using scenarios. You can create your own your own board, as it is in, I think, every skirmish game, that you are going to set up the board as you like. There is also yes, as I said, designing scenarios, but also there is something very cool as solo and cooperative play, so you don't have to be fighting each other. There is also a co-op mode. That's right. So this is like rulebook. Now let me tell you about those basic concepts, how this game works. So each faction gets miniatures. Those miniatures corresponds with the cards, and those cards shows different types of spaceships, I guess. And one of the most important thing, the iconic one, Mothership. If you played PC version of the game, you must know this one, as this one is very iconic. I played it, I guess, 10-20 years ago, and I still remember this. I don't know, this like banana shaped spaceship in a space, right? So what information you can get on these cards? So let me take something easier at the beginning. Maybe use this one. So this is a card of Defender, and this shows how many units is, how many spaceship is one unit in one unit. So we have 6 spaceships, and here we have some kind of stats, attacks, and special abilities. So basically, this red symbol means. Yeah, right. So the game is using a dice basically during the battles and making attacks. So when you are performing an attack using this type of unit, you have successes on results 5+. That's it. This blue icon, this blue symbol means this is your armor, and when you're attacked, you can remove these many successes from the roll of attacker. So they are not very strong. No successes are removed. Green arrow, this is basically how many spaces you can move with this unit. And this symbol is used in one special type of attack, ram attack. So you can just ram in another, in your opponent, in another spaceship, and again perform some kind of attack using dice. Each of those attacks are a little bit different, because basically in this game you have, I think, 3 types of attacks, like typical shooting in space. There is also a ram, and there is also boarding, where you are just attacking with humans, and you can, I think, overcome spaceship of your opponent. So those are your basic stats. And now weapons. So this spacecraft, there's a projectile cannon, and this shows how many. So yeah, in here we have 1 dice per unit in this squadron, let's say. So if you have 6 fighters in this unit, you are going to roll 6 dice. This represents distance, like distance from your squadron to your opponent. So basically there's only 1 space away. This is your distance, how far you can attack. So this is only 1 space away, and this is a symbol of type of an attack that you can perform. And in below we have extra skills of this unit. So we have rapid fire. When attacking these types of units, you can reroll 1 failure, and those icons represent corresponds with those symbols in here. So when you're attacking with this unit, one of those types of enemies, so it would have to be, for example, like this one. So this one corresponds with this symbol. You can use this rapid fire, but there's also rapid fire 2. But if you want to use this rapid fire 2, you need to perform a special command. And finally, this unit ability also has some. This unit also has some special ability after burns, which is also activated with special icons. So those are stats. And Mothership is being obviously much more powerful. 5 defense, very slow, but ram very powerful. 8 of the crew. This spaceship can harvest 3, so you can harvest asteroids filled within 2 hexes, and when you are harvesting them, you can use them. Those resources that you harvested from this asteroid field, you can use it to deploy more and more units to the battlefield. We have a factory, so can disembark again some kind of types of units, reinforcements in adjacent hexes, from the mothership, obviously, can disembark 2 units per turn, and squadron assigned comes with 1 interceptor unit at no additional star costs. So again, as in every skirmish game, you need to use some kind of points to determine the strength of both sides, and in here you are using those stars. This unit is assigned to this tab, so this mothership can also have their own smaller units, like this is what? Interceptor. I do have this interceptor here. Where is it? Interceptor. Yeah, here it is. So those small guys are just flying around the mothership, and they're protecting it from the enemies. So those are the cards of the units. The second thing, what is important in here, are those cards representing leaders. So you can have leaders. Those leaders are also attached to some kind of units. Those leaders gives additional extra skills, so this unit gets +1 dice on close quarters attacks. So when you're performing an attack with some kind of unit, and this unit has this leader, they got 1 extra die. But those leaders are also very important and useful, because they will increase your hand limit and how many cards you can play during your turn. And now let me tell you how the flow of the game goes. So we have this deck of command cards. On those command cards we have different actions that you can perform, and we have 2 types of command cards. We have interrupt command cards. Those can be played anytime, and you can interrupt obviously your enemies and your enemy. And you have typical normal action cards that you can going to play them during your turn. So at the beginning of the round, you need to determine how many cards you can have in your hand, and you can count it using your leaders and using your cards of your faction. So those cards, this symbol shows how many cards you can have in your hand, and this symbol shows how many command cards you can play in 1 round of the game. So in here we have 2, 4, 5 cards in a hand, and 3 of them can be played. So using this, let's just shuffle. I'm gonna show you some random cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are command cards. And now we have symbols in here. You need to always activate those symbols in a right order, so from left to right, from top to bottom. You can skip a symbol, but you cannot go back to the symbol after you use the second one. So here you have move, then you can attack. You can also skip move and attack, but when you attack, you cannot use move again. And in here we have those. Basically, there's only 4 symbols that are used. So this is a movement. So if you want to move, you're using the stats from your card, and this is how far you can move. This is a symbol for attack, so you just need to determine how many dice you're using, what is the distance, and what kind of weapon you're using to make an attack. And this one activates special skills on your units. So oh my god, where is it? I had it just, for example here. So if you have unit with this symbol, after burns 2, you can activate this one playing this command card with this symbol. So again, after burn 2, for example, again attack. And there is also some kind of description. The second unit can use this symbol and attack only if it can end its turn adjacent to the first unit. So using this cards, normally you can only activate 1 unit per round. Per round, yeah. So one unit, it means just 1 hex with your spacecrafts. But this card allows you to activate 2 hexes with units, but there is that condition that you need to fulfill and then you can activate the second unit. And those are the cards. So we have 3 of the symbols in here. The 4th symbol is Wait a second. Maybe I will find it somewhere here. Yeah, this one, this symbol is reinforced attack, and on some cards like this one, when you're performing normal attack, you're using those stats like normally over here, but when you will perform this reinforced attack, you can also use this special skill with this matching symbol. So normally you have rapid fire 1, but when you're using attack like this, you can use rapid fire 2. But that's not all. There are also actions like reinforce. So basically, when you're reinforcing, you are going to spawn more units on a board. Here we have it. And there's one extra symbol, which is harvest, and this is just basically, as I said, harvesting those extra elements on the board, so you can obtain some resources to spawn more units. And basically those are all like basic concepts. What else do we have here? So as I said, we have some extra elements on the board. Let me show you just a few of them. Let's start with asteroid fields. So when you have asteroid fields on the board, when you fly, you can fly with your units into the asteroid field, but when you're doing this, you need to perform an attack from asteroid field, because obviously you need to like somehow manage to not be destroyed by those rocks. And rocks are rolling 3 dice per token. They got successes and 5s, and basically that's it. But also those asteroid fields can influence the battle between the players, because the asteroid field has the skill penetrating, so -1 to target's defense. So if you are targeting your enemy and this enemy is close to asteroid field, this targeted enemy has this modifier -1 to the target's defense. But there's also target asteroid collision. Units entering or activating in the asteroid field's hex must take an asteroid impact attack. So this one. Another thing is unit ability cover 2, -2 dice on ranged attacks that enter or pass through the asteroid field's hex. So basically, when your units are next to the asteroid fields and you are attacked, the attacker gets -1 modifier because you are using those debris, those rocks flying in the space to cover and save yourself from the attack. There are also mines. Penetrating is very similar as previously. There's also an attack, and we have again some kind of different skills here. And there are also outposts, so like planets, and the same goes with the planets. Gravity bound can only be used this is another extra special attack, because in this game you have at least, I think, 4 types of weapons. You can have turrets. I'm gonna show you. Some ships has turrets, and those can only attack, let's say, in front of the spaceship. Planets has this symbol, so planets can attack everywhere, just like around all hexes around the planet. But there are also missiles like this one. So missile is a little bit slower. The torpedoes are slower, and when you're using this attack, attacked player, the defender can let's say protect from this torpedo by trying to destroying it, because torpedoes are, let's say, slower. They are slowly flying in the space, and defender can just try to destroy them, lowering the amount of dice that were rolled as a successes. And what do we have here? There is also this symbol. We have also this symbol. This symbol means that when this spacecraft is attacked, this spacecraft can attack firstly as a first one. It's like prime strike. I think this is the first strike. This is like first strike, and they can attack their attacker firstly. And basically that's it. I think those are the all basic concepts that are in this game. So yeah, and one last thing, because I think, let me show you the box for this game. As I said, this is a prototype, so I don't know how it's gonna look at the end, but the box for this game is very thin. I mean, it's not a lot of elements, but I think there's a lot of game in this small box, a relatively small box. So if you're into skirmishes, if you like or love Homeworld and you want to, you know, participate in those galactic battles, just check out the game from Modifuse. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.